Welcome back to MidPoint. The associate editor of City Journal and one who homeschools his kids, Matthew Hennessey, and a veteran blogger of such outlets as the Huffington Post, the Real Moms of Eastern Iowa, and someone who was homeschooled. Lyz Lenz joins us today on MidPoint. All right, Matt, I'm going to throw this right back at you because you heard what Lyz said. What is wrong then? There's nothing wrong with homeschooling if that's what you want. But what is wrong then with the government, at least, or somebody, a third party, if you will, making sure that the child is learning enough, making sure they're learning at the right pace, and making sure that they're learning in a healthy environment? That would seem to be something that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, you know, I respect Ms. Lenz's experience being homeschooled, and I certainly appreciate that she may have gone to college feeling she was underprepared. But I don't think she would even argue that vast numbers of children produced by the public and private school systems in this country who are also underprepared when they arrive in college. It's a question, really, if you dig to the bottom of the issue, it's a question of freedom and how free are we? If the state doesn't trust us with our own children, then we may not be as free as we think we are.
But you will have to admit that there are some parents out there who couldn't do a good job teaching their children. Let's be real honest here. Not every parent is smart, okay?
I'm not that smart myself. Not every parent wants to homeschool. If they want to, I don't think you should have to pass some sort of intelligence or competency test in order to do it. It's legal in all 50 states.
All right, legal is one thing. I understand that. Lyz, now to your point as well. Do you feel then that perhaps there is a real issue here, that perhaps there are kids out there, and again, you were homeschooled, so you can at least speak from experience here, that maybe aren't getting a decent education. Their parents mean well, but they just don't have what it takes to teach them what they need to get in society.
True, and it's a bit of a red herring to say that that happens in public school because, I mean, we can talk public school reform all we want, and that's a separate issue, but the issue here is that, yes, in homeschooling situations, many kids are being underserved, and there does need to be a bit of oversight because, you know, there are a lot of people who think that they can take on the challenge of education and they can't. And while they may be wonderful parents, the fact is, you know, if your child is going to, you know, have some sort of success in the world, they need a good foundation in education, even things as basic as fractions. If you can't understand them fully as a parent, you're not going to be able to teach them to your child. And it is good to have testing, to have a little bit of oversight, to not only provide parents with the tools that they need to be better educators, but also just to make sure that a child graduates up to par.
Okay, now there's a point. Matt, let me point it to you then. Is it not at least a help then for a government or somebody? Again, I know we're trying to get away from government interference here. I know that's the biggest thing. But at least have somebody come in and maybe teach the parents and say, all right, there are certain things you want to teach your kids, but these are the things that they really should have in order to move forward in life to at least help the parents put the kids on the right track. That shouldn't be a problem. If you
follow this logic all the way to its conclusion, we should be having parents, you know, stop in for dietary training before they have children so that they don't give them unhealthy foods. We should teach them how to safeguard their cleaning products and things like that.
Maybe that's not a bad idea.
Well, that's a bit of a slippery slope there. I don't think that's quite, I mean, it's the job of the government to provide an education for the electorate here. And while it's not in our Constitution, it probably ought to be, but I mean, you're going a little bit down a slippery slope.
Well, but I think he's fair though, Lyz. To be fair, I think Matthew's got a point because certainly there is that slope that always begins, and sometimes it happens. But then again, maybe there are parents, Matt, who actually do need to understand dietary needs of their children. We are an obese nation right now, and certainly a lot of our kids are growing up very obese right now, and it's going to hurt them later in life.
Well, we have a fundamental disagreement here about a relationship between the individual and the family and the state. I don't view the public school system or the government as the ultimate arbiter of what's best for me and my family.
That's fair. No, that's very fair. So what's the answer then? I got about a minute left. Matt, is the answer then to your side simply just leaving it to the parents then and perhaps getting testing later, or nothing at all from the government?
Well, my preferred answer is nothing at all from the government. My suggestion to people who feel that children are being poorly served by homeschooling is to work within their the political system in their state to get their laws changed, because as long as homeschooling is legal, people should have the right to do it and do have the right to do it.
And Lyz, do you at least have some government in there at least and maybe help the parents along?
Yes, there definitely needs to be some oversight, because a child who's not getting an education is a child who's not being prepared for the world. And we do have government oversight when there's abuse in homes, and it needs to be. And I think that's what this is tantamount. It's abuse not to educate your child to be a person who can operate in this democracy.
You both have opened up a lot of eyes here, and we've opened up a lot of new avenues in this discussion, which is exactly what we had hoped to do. Matthew Hennessey, Lyz Lenz, thank you so much for your comments. We'll look forward to talking to you both again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Later on this hour, Google wants your loyalty, your eyeballs, and much more of your money. And they have a plan to do it. And they're going to watch your money, too. After the break, good reason why you vote for a specific person, and it has zero to do with issues. It's next on MidPoint.